Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lilu nishmas imirosi rus pas Mordechai. A chassid from London writes, MDY is like a pool and a dance. You can show the picture if you want, Gershon. Shkoyach. You'll feel the geschmack, that's why I need a button, Gershon. You'll feel the geschmack when you jump in. A chassid from London. Gershon Rose. I cannot believe that I found myself debating pigeon spikes efficiency with our Jewish pest control company. I told him that Rebelli said they don't work. Das Torah hefach das balabatim. The guy explained that the Rebelli clearly stated. So here he's having a debate with the pigeon guy, and the guy says, "I heard the shear, and that's not what he said." The guy explained that Rebelli clearly stated that he was referring to the chutzpahdik Israeli birds, but not in London. We learn from that. I need to listen more attentively, he says. Taki's in the house. Shalom Aleichem Taki's back. Basically, you live here. Hello! I've been watching since the beginning of Subas, and I'm tremendously appreciative of all your efforts every day. Changed my life, etc., etc. Thank you. I really wanted to read this for when Avi's here, because Avi's into this. He wrote a sefer about this. I've been trying to recruit my father, but he's deaf, so it's been a bit of a challenge, as I'm not always available to interpret for him. Nevertheless, I believe that he and many others in the deaf community would benefit from and enjoy the shir tremendously. I came up with an idea a while ago and kept pushing it off, which is always a bad idea. Insert a story about a bacher leaving before benching to finish shas here. It would involve getting a sign language interpreter to view the shir and record himself translating. Following this, we would then produce a split screen video with the shir, one on one side or an interpreter on the other. We could then post the videos on YouTube. This would likely be somewhat delayed, but I believe it could be a tremendous resource for the frum deaf community. Before I get started, excited about that idea, I wanted to reach out and make sure I had your permission to use the videos in that way. Please let me know. Isaac Freeman, for sure. I think Tomer was once working about doing it in Yiddish and in Spanish. I just think what happened was it takes too long to do. Now, I got a few emails about this.
Interpreting knows how to interpret that.
Yeah, not that. We have a cheap guy. He's mamish working for cheap. The guy from Mandela funeral. He's available, half price. Had you said the brisker told his wife the chumras are for men, they would have gotten the joke. I got this from a few people that my punchline wasn't good. I shouldn't complain that nobody laughed. You said that men have to be machmer. You have to say chumras are for men. My gears in the punchline is more to the point. See you in Miami. You're Achmil Seplowitz. Rabbi Sai, Miami, see him. You're not going to believe this. 19 days to go. Over 400 people signed up. So definitely going to get to 500 Bezer Hashem. Maybe 600-700. Who knows? Oh, what was this? There's a lot of Pachkevilin and Rabbi Sai. Here it goes. Let me show you what happens. This is what an edited video looks like. Up. The bezin comes into place and a mouse runs through. Should we do that again? Look what Yosef did at the end. All at the end, the mouse. You guys don't chop. Stop. It kept on going. Okay, now they chopped. Here's another guy that sent in something. He says, Yecheskel Shane says, the editor is having a good time. Question, Boymine, who is drunk? And here it goes. And what if he says, I want to be Mekayim for a minute, but I want to be made for it after the minute. You see, Dylan likes your stuff, Yosef. Givaldik. So if you watch it live, you get one version. You watch it later, you get another one. Givaldik. Huh? Watch it twice. So this is interesting. Can a husband of an arusa or an asua be made for prior nedarim that she had before she met the arus and her husband? What's the halacha, Rabbi Yisai? Again, can a husband of an arusa or an asua be made for... Whose phone is ringing? Some people... Yeah, still ringing. No, so the answer is that there's a difference between an arusa and an asua. As we're going to see, there's actually a big difference. One yes, one not. Now, stop. This we'll see in the Gemara. What gift did Reb Chaim Kanievsky give all his daughters for their bas mitzvah? Anybody? And here talking about Reb Chaim Kanievsky. Chaim Weissman from Lakewood just sent me this picture, a beautiful picture of Chaim learning Nedarim. out of the Chazon Ish's Gemara, and if you look in the right picture, you'll see the Chazon Ish's remarks on Masechtas Nedarim. It's a beautiful. I would love a Gemara like that, but hint. If you have $500,000, it would be better to be the Goins. That's $1 million or two. What? Yeah. Who's safer? Who gave it to me? Another anonymous. Oh, it's about Lashon Hara. Is it a hint for me? Is it a hint? I need to learn this. I don't know. It's not inscribed, but whoever gave it, Yishai. Thank you. The Koilel is sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood. Yeah. He's in the song. Anonymous from Lakewood. There's going to be a brand new song that's coming out by the Siyam Beis Hashem. I heard it yesterday. Givaldic song. And there's Mordechai Seltzer's birthday today. His Hebrew birthday. Mazel Tov. The Masechta sponsored. Segula, Ketora, Tומכיה, כיעקב, Via'al. The Parnassa Shavuot, the last day. L'schus, Refuah, Sheleima, success in Parnassa and Nachas, remember children. Marvin Diamond has 2 sponsorships, 2 completely different ones. For the Yahrzeit of my father, Paul Diamond, Pesach Hillel ben Reb Avraham Tzvi. Another sponsor by Marvin Diamond. Yahrzeit for my mother, Sonia Diamond, Sara Etya Bas Avraham. I don't know what the story is. Yishai Kurtz, Lili Nishmas, Yitzchak Tzvi, Meir, Ben Binyamin, Shraga, 5 L'chaim. Huh? And Rabbi Yishai, we have a very, very special sponsor. Elvis Skensberg. Elia Skensberg. Sorry, Skensberg. Elia Skensberg. It says Elvis. But let's do this again. Rabbi Yishai is a special sponsor by Elvis Skensberg. Yikar Shmoy B'Yisrael. Elia. We have his shver here. The famous Mashgiach from Gateshead. Unbelievable. He's a great guy. Your son-in-law. You'll see during this year. In honor of my father-in-law, Rabbi Yaakov Price's 70th birthday. From all his children with long, happy life. Yishkoyach, Mazel Tov. The art this month is sponsored for a complete Refuah Sheleima of Tzvi ben Leah, and we have a very special, we're starting to go in a certain direction now. The special animation for Shliach Shalom Kamoisai at the end of the Sugya today. Mazel Tov to Ephraim Yarmak. He's finally engaged. One of the founding members of MDY Chabad. You know the guy? You're shaking your head. All the way from Brachas Daf Beis. Brachas Daf Beis, Mazel Tov. And also, Moshe Hirsch, the editor of the Or HaMerkaz, our newsletter, just had a baby girl a few hours ago. So Mazel Tov. Shkoyach. Iboiluhu. We're holding in Daf Aleph Amud Beis. The Mashgiach give us some Efsha Bracha to the ganze Olam here. We should all finish Shas, maybe? No? Later? I don't want to put you on the spot. You probably never spoke in public before.
He's nodding his head, and that's what he's saying.
Shtika Koidah. So, talking about Shtika Koidah, we have a Shaila, Boilahu. Gerushin Kishtika Damya. The Mashgiach is Mechaven. Is a get like Shtika Damya Oy Kakoma Damya. What does that mean? So here's the if you want to see it in a picture, the guy heard the neder, and we want to know if after the neder he gave a get, and immediately afterwards they got engaged again. So the Gemara is going to explain that. But what does it mean? Is a get similar to being quiet and not doing anything? Or is a get like he's saying, okay, this is a good neder? So the Ran explains, since a guy understands that he can't do anything after he divorces his wife, so it's as if, and he wasn't Meir right now, so as if he was making it. As if he said, okay, I'm not going to have another option after the get, so let me do it right now. It's as if he's being Meir. Gerushin kishtika damya oy kakoma damya. Because l'chavit Elvis, I want to say.
See what you started.
This pass for Elia's jokes. I'm not saying it's a joke. This is what the kind of stuff that he sends me once in a while. He likes to send me jokes. He didn't send this one, but this is his style. So I'll say there's a guy that He was a monk. He went off to the silence temple for monks. You know those places? You don't know how to speak at all. Every 3 years, you'll have to write in 3 words. So after 3 years, he writes in, mattress, not comfortable. So they give him a new mattress. He waits 3 years. He goes, food, missing salt. So they add a little salt. After 3 years, need go home. So the guy says, get out of here. All you do is complain all day. Fine. You see, he liked it. I know it's his style. All right. Zok to Gemara. What's the case? So that's the case we have over here. She made a neder, and her husband, the Arus, heard it. V'gerisha, and he divorced her. V'hadra b'yoymei, and that same day he was mekayim the mitzvah of machzik grushasai. If you hold that nothing happened, he was just quiet, but quiet doesn't do anything. It doesn't make a shtika. It doesn't do a kiyum. So memela, he could go ahead and be made for the neder. But if you hold that it has halacha as if he was mekayim the neder, so if he remarried her, loy motzi mefer. Okay, fine. I once heard, I'm just throwing this out there, I once heard a guy that does a lot of shalom bayis. He said that if a couple comes in screaming at each other, it's a very good sign. That means they still have some feelings for each other. But every once in a while, you have a couple that comes in, they don't say anything, they don't care, nothing. She said this to him, she said nothing. That means it's a lost case. Shalom Yisrael. If there's a shtika, it's not a good sign. Okay, says the Gemara, Toshma. Now, I just want to point out that the Ran goes into the whole thing here, and we're going to see later on in the sugya. This kind of encapsulates the sugya, what the Ran says here. Very, very important halacha. That this is talking about an engaged guy, a guy that's a arus in the time of the Gemara. Again, we're not talking about engaged. Don't chap me by the word. We call it engaged, but it means they gave her a ring, he gave her kesef kiddushin, and there's an erus in here. But if she's married, says the Ran over here on the bottom of Eli Amud Beis, then what happens is, once she's married, she leaves the domain of the father. She's no longer in the father. So even, listen to this, and this is actually the Gemara later on. But even if he marries her later, you know what kind of problem? It's a big chiddush. He marries her a second time. Now it's a prior neder. It's a neder from before his marriage. He was married to her before. No, there was a get. And it's prior to the second marriage. There's no hafaras nedarim and prior nedarim to a marriage. There's a hafaras nedarim. So again, just to chap what's going on here. There's a hafaras nedarim prior to engagement. And remember, we asked the question: how can an engaged person have more power than a married person? The answer is what? That's together with the father. He doesn't have more power, but it's in conjunction with the father, the shutzos of the father. Okay, so that's the chap here. We're talking about an arus because if it's a nesua and he's married to a married woman, he wouldn't be able to annul the neder. Okay, tashma. So is a get like as if he's mekayim the neder? He said it's a good neder, or it's nothing, it's parav. Tashma. Top of Ayin Beis Amud Aleph. And this we all had. It's an easier daf today. So, when do we say that the father gets full custody and he's able to do whatever he wants with the neder? Here, so I did a little list here. It makes the sugya that much more simple. It's a simple sugya, it makes it even simpler. We have a reisha and we have a seifa. The reisha says, what are the cases that there's no kiyum, that the husband was not mekayim the neder, and what are the cases that he was mekayim the neder? Okay, very, very simple. In the column, the blue column that he wasn't mekayim, either he didn't hear, obviously if he didn't hear the neder, he wasn't mekayim, or he heard, and he did the opposite of kiyum, he did hafara, so there's no kiyum, or he heard and he died. What's missing from the list is that he heard and he got divorced. That's our case. The second column is, it is a kiyum. What's the kiyum? he heard it, the neder, and he's Mekayim. Okay, that's the obvious case. Or he heard it and he died the following day. Okay, what's missing from the column is that he heard it and he got divorced. In other words, in both columns, there's no divorce. Divorce could go either way. It's either a kiyum or it's not a kiyum. So the Gemara wants to say, well, if it's not a kiyum, then why is it not in the blue column? Baruch Hashem, I can tell that you're feeling much better today. Givaldi. Okay, so he's writing some jokes to me. While you guys are looking this way, I have to put up with his jokes that way. Yeah, then he won't do it. What's missing from the column that says it is mikuyim? If you hold that a get is kiyum, I divorce, so put it in that column. Why is it in neither of the columns? At the end of the day, it's in neither of the columns. That means you can't bring a raya to this, you can't bring a raya to that. The Gemara starts off as if there's only one column. There's only the blue column, the column of ein kiyum. How do you not be mekayim? You didn't hear it, you were mefer, you died, he died. So put gerushin there. It's a raya that gerushin is not a kiyum. So the Gemara says, okay, so then why is it not in the other column? Oh, good kasha. Therefore, it's not a raya. One washes out the other. Shalom Yisrael. There's no raya here. That's all the Gemara is saying. Tashma. Start from the top. The husband didn't hear, no kiyum. Or he heard, but he didn't do a kiyum, he did a afara, he destroyed the neder, gone. Or he heard and he was quiet. And if you say that a get has halacha of nothing, listening, it's nothing. If you get divorced, he wasn't mekayim. Why is it not in the column? Oh, obviously, get is powerful, and it is a kiyum, and therefore it's not in this list. Oh, even seifa, but if it belongs in the seifa list, how come it's not in the seifa? But if he heard and he was mekayim, he died the next day. Only two things in that column. Ein yachal offer. Here I have a case that he cannot be mefer. Oh, but if get is like kiyom, listening, vimshama v'girish, so how come gerushin, get, is not in the second column? Okay, so I can't bring a raya. So I want to bring a raya. I'll say that get is like being quiet. In other words, it belongs in the first column. So the Gemara says, okay, a little bit of a knetch here. The Gemara says, I can't write that he was megarish in the ratio, right? In the blue column, I can't put get. So once I can't put get there, so the word get doesn't belong in this whole brisa. You're right, it might belong in the seifa in the red column. But since I'm not talking about it, so it's one of these things. I want the words to match. So you're looking at over here, we're talking about shama v'hofer, shama v'kiyam, meis l'machras. Everything lines up nicely. If I'm going to put the word gerushin in the first column, so what am I going to put in the second column that matches it? So just as that should be written well and it should flow nicely and everything should rhyme, we took out the word gerushin. Ireisha, Davkin Osef, same Shum Reisha. Seifa Dafka, and if you want to say that it really belonged in the Seifa, not in the Reisha, not the Reisha Shum Seifa, so that's why it's not. What? If it doesn't belong in the Reisha, which one? If I can't write it in the Reisha, so I'm not going to write it in the Seifa. And if I can't write it in the Seifa, I'm not going to write it in the Reisha. Seifa Davkin Osef, Reisha Shum Seifa. Okay. Toshma. This is our Mishnah now. So again, what's the question? If somebody gets divorced when he heard that his wife made a neder, maybe that's why he got divorced. He found out she's cuckoo. She keeps on making crazy nedarim. You're out of here. He warned her. One more neder, you're gone. So he divorces her. Is that a kiyum? Did he just make the neder in a way that nobody else could be made for it? Let's say she gets engaged right away that day. Let's see. Nodra v'yarusa v'nizgarsha. V'nisarsa b'yoyim, and she got engaged that day. Afilu l'meya. Avia ubala ha'achroim efirim nidarel. I'll just show it to you again. Well, we have the Mashgiach here. You didn't see this really, so I'll show it. This is our first. I'm going to remember this. I wrote this down. Nedarim Daf Beis was the first day that Yoshi made an animation. We're starting. Beis Hashem, every day we'll have like a nice little clip or something. But here it is. You have a bunch of rings there you can buy for a pruta, and you have a kala under a chuppah, and the chasanim start showing up, one after another, and then the bezdin shows up, and then the rat goes by, Shalom Yisrael. I heard this, by the way, I wouldn't say this joke if I didn't hear from a Avraham in the Koil. Yesterday I heard this from an Avraham in the Koil. He said, why is it that Cherem de Rabbeinu Gershon doesn't exist anymore? In other words, the Cherem was only done for 1,000 years. 1,000 years are over. Okay, so there's a whole need, do we re-accept it or not? But today there's no official Cherem de Rabbeinu Gershon. He says because today you need 2 wives to support one Koil guy. It's a joke from a Koil guy. I didn't say it, and I have a Koil. I learned in the Koil, so I'm not anti-Koil, but okay.
Some of your best friends are Koil.
Some of my best friends, all my best friends. Tashma, even Mendy's in Koil, in that Koil. Tashma, no Rabbi Yarusav is Gashman That's the big chiddush over here. That the last guy in this picture, is Meir and Neder that had nothing to do with him. It was a Neder that the first husband saw. The first artist saw. And what happened? There was Gerushin. Right? Look, it says on the sign over here, Maimida Adir Mitzvahs Erusin V'Gerushin Lishma Im Kol Haidurim. Each guy gives an Erusin and then divorces. Erusin, divorces. But if you're telling me that divorce is equal to be Mekayim a Neder, so now you have the first guy that made a get, so the Neder is Mekuyim. Everybody after him cannot be Meir for the Neder. How could the last guy be Meir for a Neder that was Mekuyim already? It's a strong Neder. So what do you see? Shema Mino, Gerushin Kishtika Damu. Shtika is nothing. By the way, we learned in Yevamis, I don't know if you remember, and it's a beautiful, remember we learned about Katlanis? A woman that kills, 3 of her husbands died, so you shouldn't marry her. Shiloh, 3, 4, Rebbe, this. But a woman, Katlanis. So Rashi Yevamis, the Chavei says that even a woman who's divorced 3 times shouldn't get married again. So how does okay, so maybe you have a person that was over on it, and I don't know. It's interesting, maybe somebody that divorces so many times in one day, Rashi wouldn't say it. It's not like halacha. I'm thinking now out loud. Katlanis means she's a dangerous woman. Every time she gets married, 2 years later, she's divorced. But over here, it's like, she set up a booth, and that's why. Maybe it's different. Huh? Yeah, well, she's not making any money. There's no ksuba over here. Yeah, maybe rings. These pruta ring. Huh? The case is b'diavad. Yeah, okay. It's just a theoretical case. It never happened, never will happen. It's a theory. What happens if somebody's over and... I forgot to take this one. Huh?
What if the woman gets divorced, then the second husband dies, and the third husband gets divorced? I'm saying, what happens?
For sure it's not good. According to Rashi, for sure. I'm saying, even divorce... No, I hear. You mean she doesn't cause the divorce. I hear. It's interesting, Shaila. Reb Nachman wants to know, if a woman gets divorced, then her husband dies, then gets divorced, is that, according to Rashi, that's 3 in a row? Or it's 2 different things, and maybe they don't add up. Okay, when we get to that sugya, we'll remember your Shaila.
Write it down.
I'm not going to remember. You're going to remember. So that's fine. Okay. So the Ran goes into the whole thing here. I'll show you this. Oh no, not that. It says in the pasuk that you have to hear the neder boy bayayim. So who heard it? The father or the chassan? So the bigger chiddush is the chassan, right? Only the chassan. There's no chiddush at all in the father. Why? Even though the chassan heard it and another guy stepped in, this chiddush that we're talking about. Memela l'chayr, we're talking about an artist over here. The Ran just wants to prove that we're talking about an engaged guy. We're not talking about the father hearing. Somebody heard. we have an option. Who heard? You tell me who heard the neder. The father or the guy that got the chassan? Obviously it's the chassan, says the Ran. Because if the father's no chiddush, they have to do boy bayayim. Okay, boy bayayim, of course. That we know, it's a pasuk. But that boy bayayim in the same day, a second guy could step in and take over where the first guy left off. That's a huge chiddush. And Memela, I understand that we're talking about an aros and we have a great raya. Says the Gemara, no, your whole assumption that we're talking about a big chiddush and Memela we're talking about an engaged guy is off. We're not talking about the engaged guy heard. If nobody heard it, then you could annul it 100 days later. No, somebody did hear it. The clock starts ticking by the moment that one of the two hear, either the father of the chassan. We thought it's the chassan because it's a major chiddush. No, says the Ran, it's the father and the zero chiddush. Okay, we're not saying chiddushim here. We're just saying a simple halacha. Tashma. So I still don't know if a get is equal to a kiyum of a neder. Nadra boy bayayim. So you hear Zalman Tzvi. He came to the Beis Medrash yesterday, and I told my chavrusa, it was last night, told him about Zalman Tzvi that he got me. He said that shtika is also a kiyum. According to this Gemara, maybe get is also a kiyum. We don't really have a thing. We're going to see at the end. That Zalman Tzvi didn't know. But then I started asking him Shilas. Bemet, I didn't prepare. I asked him, what's the nafkamina between atar and afara? In a millisecond, he told me the nafkamina. I was very, very excited. A 12-year-old. He's not 13 yet. He's going to be 13 in 4 days. But as a 12-year-old listening to the shir, no, that's fine. It's beautiful. Other Shilas asked him. Good. The what it says, if the Aros divorced her and he took her back that day, and he can no longer do Afara. So what do you see? That Gerushin has the halacha of Hakama Tzakil. Says the Gemara, no, we're talking about a married woman. So that's what the Ram was saying before. Why could a Aros be Mefer in prior Nedarim? Because he has a shutfus with the father. But a married woman, and the Ran says, it doesn't matter any way you go, a married woman, her husband cannot be Mefer. Even, so we have like this. Married, engaged. You hear the shayla here? Interesting shayla. You have a woman that was married. What happened in staged marriage? She left her father. And now you have that she got engaged afterwards. Could that engaged guy, you hear the shayla? Nachamal. An engaged man could be mefer the nedarim of his wife, of his kala, even prior nedarim before the engagement. So I'm asking you a question. This woman happened to be married once upon a time. And now she's engaged to a guy. Could that guy annul her nedarim that were prior to the engagement? The answer is no. Why? Because once she was married, she already lost the father. And the only way a arus could be made for a nether prior is together with the father. We said you need the power of a shutfus. And she already lost that shutuf. And memela, that's why it could only be an arus that goes backwards. And over here we're talking about an asua, Shalom Yisrael.
Didn't she go back to the father when she was divorced?
No. Doesn't go back to the father. Now, typically the Ran over here brings the Ramban, that when it goes to all Nedarim, and he says it all throughout the Masechta, we don't know what to do. So is it get a kiyum or a get a shtika? So what would you do if you were a rabbi? What would you paskin? L'chumra. That what? It's a kiyum. It's a good neder. But the Ran says something beautiful that might have been bothering a lot of people as we're learning here. What happened to yesterday's whole sugya? I don't know what happened, but I know that Gary's in a very good mood today. I can tell you, yesterday when he was collecting tzedakah, he was limping through the Beis Medrash. Oh, and he's making noises. And that's why you didn't hear from him. Today, he's feeling beautiful. I can tell you right now, he'd probably do jumping jacks. Fine. What's going on, Gary? No? Still hurts? I don't believe it. Okay. But listen what the Ran says. Remember we had the whole sugya yesterday. Shmuel got from his Rabbeim that what? That if there's a Shama Aros, yeah? And even if she got divorced 100 times, what's that halacha? The last guy is made for the neder. So what do you see? That a get is not kiyum. Don't go like the Ramban. Shmuel heard this from his Rebbe. Huh? No, it says in Zgar Shafil Meir Pamim, no? Right here. Huh? No, they did it here. Shmuel says before, Shama. Shama, the Aros heard. We didn't know it was the Aros there, but we said Shmuel heard that's the Aros. Divorced. No, you sure? Look again. And the Gemara here, huh? And he's going on the Mishnah. No, Shmuel's like Shmuel says Minan immediately. How do I know this of the Mishnah? Right. All right, Daf Yomi Beis, sponsored by Greg Haber for Bracha Parnassa Hatzlacha for his entire family and everyone learning the Daf, and Hatzlacha for the members of the HBA Group and their families. Amen. Plus, we have a brand new sponsor for the Mishnayos. His name is Yoel Friedman. Lili Nishmas, my dear father Chaim Avraham Shulim Yeruchim Ben Yisrael Duvid Olav Hashalom. He wrote Duvid, not me. D-U-V-I-D. Derech Talmidei Chachamim when his daughter is about to leave him by bagrus or marriage, like the minhag is to go to Kala, bend down and whisper something. So maybe that's what they used to whisper. Today they say Achisenu Ati Lal Vav or whatever they say. Maybe then they say, "Oh, you're Nedarim Amufar." It's like a secret. And this is what Reb Chaim Kanievsky. They asked him, "What did you get your daughters for Bas Mitzvah?" I told them that all the Nedarim are mufar. But then they said no, that he'd get them like a siddur, an engraved siddur. Fine. Derech Talmidei Chachamim. It means if a Talmid Chacham does it, you should also do it. Why not? It's a great minhag. I'm not joking. There are people that are made for the daughters in Nedarim every day. You know what I'm talking about. And the husband also. Before the chuppah, why? Before the chuppah, yeah, before once.
Because they're engaged.
Yeah. By the way, in Parsha Shavua, maybe I shouldn't say this right now. Okay, we're running late, but in the Parsha we have Yosef told Paroi. Yaakov Avinu was mashbia Yosef to take his atzamais, ashvua, and he said, "I'm being mashbia you because what's going to happen? Paro will say, don't leave and be matir the neder, be matir the shvua. So then you'll say, okay, then I'll be matir the shvua I made to you. Then I'm not going to tell everybody I know one language more than you." Sure. This idea of hatara. But somebody yesterday asked me the shayla last night. How could Yosef do that? How could Yosef be matir neder? Because he has to go to the Bezdin and say, Bezdin, I know one language more than Paroi. And I want to be matir that neder. How's he allowed to tell the Bezdin? He swore he's not going to tell anybody. Okay. Because you have to be mefared the neder before you're this. But that's a halacha that came on later. Fine. Anyways, it's a nice shtick. It's a nice chap. Do you need to hear the neder when the father bends down? He has no idea what he's talking about. Maybe he never heard that his daughter made a neder. Can he be made for all Nedarim just in case she made one? Now it says in the pasuk twice. I have it, but I don't want to show. You know what? Don't show the screen yet. Here we go. It says twice the word husband. The husband will be mekayim it, and the husband. Why? It should say why the double lashon? Says the Gemara. Is that what I'm talking about here, or did I show the wrong thing? Okay. Does the husband have to hear it? Now I'll tell you this, and when it comes to marriage, I want to give you, Yosef, before you go, I want to give you a great tip in marriage. In marriage, you're allowed to apologize for something that you don't even know what happened. You just say, I'm very sorry for doing it. Next time you tell me what it is, I'll try not to do it. But over here, the shaila is, do you have to hear what's going on? Do you have to know that there's a neder? Our Mishnah, right? Reb Chaim Kanievsky tells his daughter, all your Nedarim are mufer. He didn't know what it is. He just said it. Says the Gemara, no. Perhaps the Chishama with the Meir. When he hears it, then he'll do Afara. So, okay, so very good. So he'll hear it. So then why is he doing it twice? Why should he even say it? So it's very interesting. A Talmud Chacham tells his daughter, listen, if you ever made a neder, I'm being made for it. So he gets her to talk, and she'll start saying, oh, Ataka, I made this neder, I made this neder. Once he knows it, then he'll be made for it. The idea is to start a conversation with her. Now, the Raj just points out that a father can't do that because once he hears it, and we're going to see soon, once he hears it, it's already too late. Fine, I had a good story, say it a different time. Toshma, Miseifa, V'cheina Baal Achalei Tikonas L'Shusai, the husband also, before the chuppah, Oimerla, he says, I'm made for you all in the dark. So, you didn't know what's flying. You never heard there was a nether or not a nether. Fine. When I hear. Now, when I hear, so that's complicated run over here. Exactly what, there's two lashonos. When I hear means, when I hear the neder, this is what it means, retroactively, I annulled it. Before we couldn't say that, because it's a father. And again, a father loses his koyach once she gets married. But over here, the husband doesn't lose his koyach because he's getting married, he's becoming more powerful. What he's saying is, when the husband tells her, all you Nedarim are mufer. Okay? Later on, he hears that there was a neder. Boom! When he hears it, retroactively, when he said that it's mufer, it becomes mufer because he said it 2 days ago. Again, on Sunday he says, all you Nedarim are mufer. On Tuesday he hears that there's a neder. So when he heard it, he had a shmiyah. The hafara happened 2 days before. You can learn like that. Tashma. I'm making a deal. I don't know what's flying. I'm going to be in America. I'm going to be in another country. And all the Nedarim that you make, I'm mekayim now. Lo yomar klum, nothing happened. Harei mufarim, but to be mefer, mufar, and the Ran says it's not only Rebbe Eliezer, it's Chachamim also. Fine. Yeah, but in this case, there'll be moida, says the Ran, because it already happened. The only reason why they argue, not to go into it. The reason they argue is because Dav Sheleima ba'olam. But Dav Sheleima, if it was a neder, even Chachamim and moida, says the Ran. That's why we bring a riot from here. Anyway, Rebbe Eliezer mufar. How could a husband make a deal with his wife that all Nedarim that you make when I'm gone in a different country should become mufer? He didn't hear them. So you see that you don't have to hear. When I hear them, so what I say today should be good. So why does he have to do that? As soon as he hears it, boom, it's a hafara. Says Gemara, the what? I don't know. To me, it happens a lot. Maybe it's the ADD. The Oilam can tell me. A lot of times, I say, oh, I have to WhatsApp a certain guy. So I go on my phone. I go to WhatsApp, and then all of a sudden I see there's 3 WhatsApps from other people. So I start looking at the WhatsApps. Oh, very interesting. And then I put my phone away, and I completely forget to. And like an hour later, didn't I? So true. So true. It happens. You have ADD. Anybody says so true, you have ADD? No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. It happens to me. A guy hears that his wife made a neder. He made a neder. All of a sudden, oops, he's over there. He's doing something else. He says, "I'll take care of the neder. Give me 1 minute. I just have to make 1 phone call." He makes that phone call and then he forgets about it. So he wants to preempt that, and he says, "I'm being made for all your nedarim." As soon as he hears the neder, it becomes mufer. Toshma. He tells the person in charge of his whole, it makes a shliach. All the nedarim that my wife makes until I come back should become mufer. And he listened. No, this is where the pasuk belongs. I would think it's muffar. It's only the husband that can do it. Oh, so I just want to show you this thing here. Don't go yet to the screen. Time out. I have to go. This is mamish geschmack. I think we waited all the way to the end of the share for this. Okay, now you can show the screen. All right. Here's Shluchai Shalom Kamoizi. You have a guy with a remote control. And notice the flag is half staff. You ready? Here it goes. This is the Shliach. It's all about the Daf. He has a ring. Just the other finger, and the flag goes up. Is that good? Benny liked it. Shluchah Shalom K'maisai. It's my idea. Yoshi implemented. Okay. And I never had Mario Bros. I just saw all my friends playing it. MS. True. By the way, so, I mean, we have to start davening. The Olam is here, but I just want to say this mice. I said it a number of times. Oh, hold on. We're not even there yet. The Gemara has a kasha. We have to go back to this. The Gemara has a kasha. Why can't a shliach be made for a neder of the wife? All Torah says, Shluchah Shalom K'maisai. We're holding the kasha. But as we say this kasha, and tomorrow we'll show this thing again. Why not? You got to get a lot of mileage on it. There was I forgot the name of the gadol. Maybe tomorrow I'll have the name. I remember I used to know the name. There was a gadol that went to chasana, and everybody didn't understand. You go to chasana, usually go to chasana for a minute and out. Why are you there for 10 minutes, 20 minutes? He said, because the Refuah sent me. And Shluchah Shalom K'maisai. So I feel like I'm doing the Refuah shlichus. I feel like I'm mamish K'maisai, like him. I want to be the Refuah for more than 2 minutes. I want to be the Refuah for 10 minutes. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. We're in the middle of a kasha. Shluchah Shalom K'maisai.